Here we are, bottom of the Smash Mountain. I would like to thank my supporters over at patreon.com/bsmpod for continuing to support me in what I'm doing. I would also like to extend a special apology to patron Smokey, who has generously said, I will get you a box because, Cypher, I want you to be able to have the experience of trying out the Frame 1 as well as the box. I think the box is an equally awesome product, so I want to buy one for you and check it out. But also, in exchange, you know, if I buy you a box, I want you to promote the stuff that I'm into, one of which is Eternals Project. So I'll include a link in the description for that. Sorry, I'm really bad at shelling, even for myself. But now that we got that out of the way, Philadelphia's very own Gene Dolla is here. The head, the founder, the person who is keeping a lot of things going out there in Philadelphia, somewhere that I actually have not been yet, but this is part of my origin story for going to Philadelphia events, hopefully in the near future. Sadly, for May 21st, which is Creed, which is an upcoming event that is being hosted by Eugene, I will not be able to attend because my sister's birthday is that day. But the point is that there are going to be super awesome events, not just Creed, which people should go and check out. That also, the Smash GG link will be in the description below. You should check it out. There will be more because Brotherly Love, esports' very own Gene Dolla is here to tell you all about that and more. We'll get into all of it. So Gene, thank you so much for joining me.
Dude, thank you for having me. I love your podcast. I was really excited when you had Battery on. LV homie, honestly a longtime friend. So for the viewers, you should check that one out. You know, support my boy Aaron because I love you. You know how it is.
That's beautiful. Yes, Battery is super awesome to talk to. I had no idea that Battery wants to be an Olympian level volleyball player. So what about you, Gene? What is your big secret that I probably should have tried to investigate on Twitter going, there's a lot of tweets about such and such. Maybe Gene is going to become the next, volleyball. What was it for you?
Well, definitely not the next Olympian, but, you know, for now, I have a pretty tame goal. You know, I want to host some tourneys. Now that, you know, COVID is, well, I don't know if it's better or not, but, you know, things are starting to kind of get back to normal. So maybe host some tourneys, you know, bring a major to Philly. It doesn't necessarily have to be like 3 days, but, you know, a big enough event, you know, to fly out some players and stuff like that. And hopefully soon I probably like be a bar manager soon, maybe run a restaurant and maybe have my own bar. We'll see.
Well, that sounds cool.
Yes, sir. I'm currently a bartender in the Lehigh Valley, and I also am a sud slinger at a brewery, Lost Tavern Brewing. So I pour beer for a living and shake cocktails and get you drunk professionally.
So the idea there of having your own place is not just to host locals, but also get to be the boss man. I mean, you know what it's like to run tournaments, but what about to actually run a for-profit business that doesn't often say to itself, how do we make money? Like, because hosting an event, the operating assumption is we're not going to make a lot of money off of this. We're doing this because we really love it. We love the game. And yes, maybe there's, you know, some happy juice and you know, induced into that makes it even better. But I'm curious from your perspective, you get to see the business side of being at bars, being at restaurants, because you're working as a bartender, like you said, but then you are also hosting events that, you know, you say, we would be happy just to keep this going. Maybe money making off of it, like to profit at all, is a challenge. What are your thoughts on that?
So honestly, I've always really enjoyed
I magically disappeared, and I do apologize
yes.
to the viewers at home. Don't know how I did that.
Oh, it's all good.
Okay.
I didn't get too far with my story anyways, but So yeah, I just always loved event organizing, and being a bartender for I started in Philadelphia. I was working at this place called Urban Farmer. They really like instilled the knowledge into me on like how to be like very hardworking and dedicated to my craft. And what really stood out to me with the head bartender, Tim Johnson, Big Cat, if you will, who taught me was, you know, he really showed me how to be really personable and like really get to know, you know, the people you're serving and going like over the top for them and making sure they feel like they're at home, like they'll always have a seat at the bar waiting for them and stuff like that. And so that was always really cool. I love bartending. It's fun. And then it just translated over to Smash and hosting tournaments and stuff like that. I love being able to provide setups for the people, to come play, have a good time, maybe win some money, maybe lose some money, definitely make new friends, that's for sure. And really enjoy themselves, get away from like the daily stresses of life and whatnot. And I always thought it was such a beautiful thing because I'm really social with like, everyone. I love talking to people, love meeting new people, and it just made sense, We all have we all share this intense like passion for this game, and it's a really beautiful thing because like, you go to your, normie friends and be like, "Hey, you want to play Smash?" And it's not as fun because you'll sauce them, you'll cook them, and it's just not that fun. But you talk to your Smash homies and you play Melee together, then it gets sweaty, it gets intense, and it's at the end of the session, it's always like, all right, one more game. All right, one more game. Our last one, I swear. And it just keeps going on, and like honestly, it's just like such a yearning to like want to play more with like your good friends, and yeah, it just all made sense. And hosting the tournaments, like more and more people just came, and more opportunities, more friends just started showing up, and I was like, hey, I'm really enjoying this, so why not keep at it?
So that is something that I'd love to hear, the origin story, and we actually got a little bit of a preview of, especially of how it relates to Brotherly Love Esports, how you originally got into all that. But you were not a TO first, were you? There are people like Wisely out in Minnesota, shout outs to Wisely, who probably within 3 or so events of attending, he was already trying to help TO. But what was it like for you? Do you remember your first ever Melee tournament or FTC tournament in general?
Tournament, I'm not sure, but I remember uh I remember I grew up in New York, so I remember going to Chinatown, and I stopped by the Chinatown Fair, I believe if I remember this called, and watching these grown men go at it at the MVC2 cabinet, and watching them like doing all these crazy inputs just like really stuck in my mind, like, whoa, what is going on? So I originally started playing like MVC2 when I was a little bebopper, and then I wasn't really gaming too much in terms of fighting games, but around 2013, 2014, I think it was 2014, I saw Evo. And then after that, I mean, obviously, somewhere along the line, somewhere in like on MySpace or something, I saw like the Wombo Combo video.
Right.
It was like little 10-year-old me on MySpace, watching these crazy combo videos. But yeah, after that, 2014 is when my boy Angus and Ivan actually. Ivy is his tag. Angus doesn't have a tag. He doesn't really go out to tournaments, but he also somehow got into it. So we were just playing, we were trying to get good at Melee and whatnot. And then Ivan was like, yo, they have tournaments at Northampton Community College, which is in the Lehigh Valley. I currently live in the Lehigh Valley, by the way. So fast forward, I think we go to Fat Punish. I think it might have been the first one. Yeah, it was in the basement of Northampton NCC, and that's where I met Aaron or Battery and Fred and all the LV Bulls and stuff like that. I met all those guys, which was cool. And then after, Ivan was like, "Yo, there's tournaments in Philly. We should go." So then we go to Philly, and lo and behold, it's the Lab in the old venue, which was crazy because I don't know. That tournament was like, I don't know, there's like 50 people in there, and it was tiny, man. That space was so tiny. It was hot. It was sweaty. Absolutely gamified. Like so many gamers just coming for each other's throats. I think my first ever match was on stream, which is hilarious, but it's somewhere in there. Please don't look it up. Yeah. So after that, I was like, wow, I really love this game. I started going to more tourneys. Eventually, we had 20 Espresso in the Lehigh Valley. Still, Aaron was the TO for that and stuff. So, I was just coming out to support for a while. Let's see. And then after that is when trying to think. I moved to Philly around 2017. 2016, 2017, give or take, around that time.
And there was starting to be a shift in the power of like who's TOing bigger events or TOing in general in Philly. That was sort of part of your TOing origin story then, right?
Yeah. So once I moved there, I think for a while I wasn't playing too much, but then I walked into the game room and I saw CRTs and I'm like, oh, there must be Melee players here. So cool. I'm trying to, I think I met, who did I meet first? I don't know who I met first, but it was either Slug or Rohit. It was definitely Rohit. But, so yeah, Moosh which is the guy who owns the Lab in Hatboro. He was doing most of the Philly tourneys. It was like about an hour outside of Philly. So he was doing all that stuff. That's where most of like the Philly bowlers were going. I know Westchester tourneys were pretty big, and same with the Swarthmore. I think it was an event match. So those were all good. I didn't really get to go to those because, I was a little busy with school and working. But then Rohit was like, man, I don't feel like traveling all the way over there. I'm going to start a series called Gucci Gang. So Gucci Gang started, and, Rohit started hosting those here and there. He was throwing like $50 pop bonus for this like local or just like the randos that would come in, blah blah blah. Eventually Rohit was no longer at Temple. He was doing his own thing. He moved to Seattle, and I think he went to go work. So then it's Slug, Q as I call him. Yeah, Slug started hosting. He started taking up Gucci Gang, and funny enough, he made a Facebook event group or page, and he tagged the school, and I didn't realize it was a big no-no, and neither did he. But apparently, doing a tournament with money and bringing in like a bunch of randos is gambling. So yeah, they wanted to kick my man's out, but luckily he got it sorted out, and he was like, yeah, I'm not doing this ever again. so I was like, F it, I'm gonna do it. I'll start it. So then I hosted a Gucci Gang, the revival. I think we had like 8 people the first one, and then the next one, I think it was like Bofa edition, which is Bofa soap. Shout outs to Michael Silverman, my man's. And that gained like 16 people. I think some Jersey boys came out, which was nice. I think that's when I met like Mont Money, Just Nate, Wally. And then I forget what the next one was, but then that got even bigger, like 20 people. And I was like, oh, damn, this is cool. Like, I'm starting to meet all these cool people. I'm really enjoying playing this game. I get to yell at people. People get to listen to me, kind of like how I do at the bar. I yell at people and they listen. But so yeah, it was cool. And then eventually we were like, all right, we're gonna need more people, and we just don't feel safe like hosting it at Temple and stuff like that. So then reached out to our Drexel boys. I think it was Brian Rice and Saint. aka Satchet. They were hosting the melee tournaments over at Drexel, and so I said to Satchel, I was like, "Hey, you guys care if we host like tournaments here?" And they were cool with it. Drexel has like, I don't remember exactly what they told me, but they said that they found a loophole to host tournaments and get money, like be able to like actually, deal with money and stuff like that. So, I didn't question it. I was like, all right, man, whatever. Like, as long as we don't get in trouble. So that was cool. We hosted, what Gucci Gang was that? I forget what Gucci Gang that was, but then that was successful. We had like 40 something entrants, something like that. And then Gucci Gang Leap Year came around. Uh, this was a kind of infamous one for me. It didn't end like I wanted it, but the traction that it pulled was exactly what I wanted to really make me feel like I was doing what I wanted to. This is the one tourney where we had 96 entrants and we capped at 96. So we reached it, and we had people from the New England area. I remember I invited out Calvar, Hacks Money came, Bobby Big Balls came out. Some MDVA boys like Juice Bucks, Frostbite, Haas, or he used to go by Instinct, Beto, all those cool cats. And it was really cool because that specific one too was I invited all top 10 of Jersey.
Okay.
The PR ranking, I was like, hey, listen, guys, I'd like to invite all 10 of you. Venues on us, singles fees on us. Like, we'd really like it to have you guys. And so top 10 Jersey was there, full force. And it was a really cool tournament too. This was my first time meeting Save As Entitled too. Woo. Like in person. Yeah,
Big W's,
good old
big W's.
Yes, sir. So then that's basically how it all went down. And sadly, there was a miscommunication with the building between Satchet and Drexel, and they closed the venue 2 or 3 hours early.
No. Oh.
Or I think it was 2 hours early. And we were this close to finishing the tournament. Really close. And it was just really unfortunate. So we did I think it was top 4. We just did a split, and you can look on it on the Liquipedia, I think, or one somewhere that you'll see all that stuff. It was very unfortunate, but other than that tournament freaking rocked. That was a great tournament. Some of the craziest sets I've seen. I wish I had the Slippy files for it, but a lot of them weren't working. So, but that was cool. And then that's how I got started. With all that, I think that's when I was like, all right, it's time to start a group. And then I started Brotherly Love Esports, or BLEs they call it. And I sponsored Slug because he was #1 in Philly for a while. So I was like, okay, just you and me, my boy. And yeah, that's how we got started. And then once Gucci Gang happened, Leap Year edition, that was kind of like the whatchamacallit, kind of like the prep for Genesis. And then me and Slug went to Genesis. My man's placed 13th, and it's only been up since there.
That's so cool. So if this was Leap Year's 2016 and 2020, so we're talking 2016, right?
So maybe 2018. Let me see.
I mean,
I'll look up.
Gucci Gang Leap Year can be held on whatever day of the year you want it to. It doesn't actually have to be on on a real leap year.
Oh no. Let me see. It's February 29th, 2020. This was around that time. Yeah, now I remember. Right before COVID, I think.
Yes.
Literally right before COVID.
It must have been an amazing feeling of saying we got all top 10 Jersey and we got Slug and we got cut off. I mean, it's a bigger picture thing. You get the tournament cut off, and then COVID cuts off like in-person events when you probably feel in a lot of ways momentum was just completely hosed off.
Oh yeah, it was honestly devastating. I could not I honestly, COVID was rough, or the pandemic, if you will, because like everything was getting traction. We had a lot of money saved up for the pop bonuses for the next Gucci Gang and stuff like that. We were looking into getting like sponsorships and partnerships with like local businesses because one thing I truly believe is supporting local. So we're looking to getting posters made by local businesses, maybe um, do advertisements on like streams and stuff like that. And yeah, it kind of just all fell apart around the pandemic. And I was like, damn, now what?
But you're still here. Why are you still here, Gene?
Why are we still here? Because I love this dumbass game so much that I just keep coming back. No matter how many times, I go on unranked and I get fucking annoyed by some player, I just keep coming back no matter what. So then, yeah.
No, go ahead.
So yeah, obviously COVID didn't, or the pandemic didn't, phase me too much. But then that's when like another opportunity came into play. So this was around, this was when Slippy wasn't out yet. So we were doing the online tournaments. So East Coast Fridays was a big thing. Brandon or Homemade Waffle started doing Rona Rumble.
Yep.
And my boy Scott reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, I could really use your expertise." And we started the Untitled series. So me, Scott, and Patty, shout out to Patty, started Untitled, and we were going really hard, man. Those tournaments were like getting stacked and stacked almost every week. It was getting intense, but I started really enjoying it. I just my love for Melee and being a TO just kept going. I know being an online TO, I did not take anyone's shit personally. Honestly, me as a TO, I don't take anyone's crap. I'm sorry. I'm not like, I can't be bothered. Every time I host a tournament, I'm always like, all right, quit your friendlies. If you don't quit, I'm going to DQ you. And I'm serious. And at the count of 3, it's like magic. They listen. The people listen. Maybe it's an aggressive approach, but I don't.
Philly, baby.
I don't care how you feel. Listen to me. This is my tournament. Fuck you, basically. So yeah, the Untitled City was cool. And then after a while, we got the Slippy stuff going on.
I have a question.
What's up?
When did Axis get involved? Because I think the Untitled series was part of Axis's, like, his origin as a TO. I mean, he's still like pretty young, only finishing his first year of college. Shout out to Axis, who actually I think is helping you TO Creed. If I was looking at the admins correctly, that's Axis, is it not?
Yes, he is. So Axis came along sometime. I don't remember exactly, but we had a second stream up, and it was on the Axis SSBM Twitch, and he was also a co-TO along with Patty. I forget where along the lines. I think it was after we started doing the Untitled West Coast and the Europe one, and that's when we needed more hands in, or all hands on deck. So I think that was Scott who reached out to him. I don't really know exactly how that happened, but eventually, it was Scott joined the team, and I think Patty stepped down for a little bit because he's trying to do his own thing with Alston Melee. And then after that, it was just me and Axis for a little bit. And then eventually Sidward came along the way, and trying to think who else. But yeah, then Axis took over. And then after a while, I stepped down as well because, it just didn't feel the same. But yeah, me and Axis have had a pretty great relationship as TOs. He's always been super helpful. And, whenever he needed help, I helped him out too. Um, so that was cool for a while. And then he helped me with a Gucci Gang online edition. You know, we did a little tournament with, which is where I started implementing Slippy files or Slippy replays on stream, where I would tell the players, don't report your matches. I think this was like maybe like top 32. I was like, hey, don't report your matches. Don't tell anyone what just happened, you know, who won, blah, blah, blah. You know, we're just going to put it on stream, you know, go do something else, you know, take your time. I'll let you know when you can come back. And that worked out beautifully, honestly. Like, it was so flawless. There was no wait times for broadcast, you know, broadcast mode or whatever. No delays on stream. You know, everything was flawless. We did the tournament in like 5 hours. It was awesome. That was honestly like a pretty good call. We did top 8 like that too. It wasn't all live. You know, most of it was Slippy replays. You know, and to be able to execute that, you know, with Axis's help, that was like flawless. It was just awesome. So he helped me out a lot with that. He also did like the overlay and stuff like that. So it was cool. It was a really cool time. And then man, I can just keep rambling. So then I stepped down from Untitled. You know, I was getting busy. I started working again. And then I helped TO. I think I was an admin on the LACS qualifier 1 and 2. This is when the first qualifier was like 500 people and like the second one was like 380 or something like that. And though, honestly, that was an intense day. Shout outs to Jade.
Yes, let's go, Jade.
They know. They know the pain. I don't even want to talk about it, but it was stressful. dealing with 500 lunatics, you know, all these DQs, blah blah blah, just answering all these questions. Man, it was a mess, but that was cool. That was a cool experience to be able to help out those guys, Brandon and you know, Ludwig and all that stuff. And so that was cool. And then that was pretty much it. And then nowadays, I didn't have any Philly tournaments for a while because I lived in LV or Lehigh Valley. So then after a while, Aaron stepped down. You know, he moved to Tennessee to you know, just get away, do his own thing with his girlfriend. And I took up the mantle of being the TO for Lehigh Valley. And I now host one more game every other Sunday at the Lehigh Valley Mall. And now I'm trying to get things started back up in Philly.
Starting with Creed. I mean, this is how important does it feel to you to have this go right, other than the obvious? It's of course you want it to go right, but do you feel like a lot is riding on it, or do you view it as it's the first bigger event back and we're trying to make it regional sized and we're just gonna keep chipping away at this?
Yeah, ideally I would like to get up to, like, the minimum 96 entrants. The minimum. It's kind of a big deal to me because let me tell you a story. So basically, local hosts opened up another esports campus like really close to Center City, which is like huge. Like that's an expensive like esports campus. So they basically, you know, had a grand opening date. You know, they had all these plans for, you know, having I think there was like a CS:GO like major going on, Smash Ultimate tournament, so maybe some fighting game tournaments.
Typical. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and they were throwing like pop bonuses, like $1,000 pop bonus to each game, and they posted in like the Philadelphia Melee Facebook group about, you know, Ultimate and stuff like that, and that was cool. You know, they didn't really get a lot of traction there. I think it was like a 64 player cap for Ultimate, and they had like maybe like 40 people, and like this was like 2 weeks before the grand opening. And I reached out to what's her name, Paige, who was the VP for marketing, and I was like, hey, is there a chance we could get like Melee there? Like, we'll provide all the setups and stuff like that. Like, all you need to do is provide the space, and like, that's fine. Like, we'll even throw in our own pop bonus and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, no, that's fine. So, instead of just like not throwing a pop bonus, we threw in a doubles pop bonus, which is nice. They gave us $1,000, and they were like, yeah, you can host this tournament, blah, blah, blah. I was talking to like the general manager and all that stuff. But you have to be able to get 64 people. Mind you, they reached out like a week and a half like before the tournament starts. And I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna get 64 people to sign up? Free tournament, cool, but like to sign up, come to Philly and play. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I guess we'll do it. And so within that week, I garnered 8 CRTs because that's all they would allow us to have, and do a 64-man bracket.
Woo!
And we got all 64 players. We did it, and they were like super surprised. They were like, "Wow, I can't believe like, you were able to get this like many people like within it fast and stuff like that." Yeah, and they really appreciated, because there were some random people walking in, and they're like, "Hey, like, do you mind if like my kid like can play or try?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, like sure, sit down, like play."
It's only 8 setups. That's all good.
Yeah, it's only 8 setups. It's fine, yeah. And everyone was understanding. Like there was like an 8-year-old playing like Melee. I think they were playing doubles. With his grandpa, I think they were playing doubles, and
watch the Smash Doc, kid. It'll change your life.
Yeah. And like it was bring your own controller, but shout outs to Lucid, my boy Max. He basically he's like, yeah, just take my controller, it's fine, don't worry about it. And they played. I gave them my controller because I didn't enter, but always have to stay strapped with your controller.
You were ready to go from 63 to 64 if you had to be the last person in.
Always. So yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, the tournament took a little longer than I wanted it to, because of only 8 setups, which was miserable. But a lot of good talent. I think Kem won that. It was Kem 404, Cray, Wally, JJM was top 4, and then I think it was like, it might have been like Dawson or Crike, and then who else was it? I think Bones was there and stuff like that. So overall, it was a really good tournament. So I was talking with the general manager, and he basically said like, yeah, man, if you ever want to start something up, like, just like here's my email, just shoot me a message.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I didn't realize Localhost is owned by like Nerd Street Gamer, which is this like huge company. And like, dude, like, I don't know if you've seen like the video I posted of like the venue, but it's like it's crazy. There's like maybe like hundreds of like not hundreds, but like probably 800 of like all these PCs with like 3080 graphics cards and whatnot. And like, there's a commentator stage, there's like a separate area for like their ultimate tournaments. It's like it's crazy, man. So I was like, yeah, man, like, absolutely, like that is a great idea. So
very down. Yes, you said it, general manager. You're very much on top of this. I'm super down. Yes, that's cool.
Dude, so finally, I finally found a venue where they would let me host these tournaments. So, it took a lot of planning. This tournament, the block happened in August. So this tournament took like a pretty long time to finalize the date, to finally set, everything set in stone. So yeah, and that's pretty much how Creed started. I saw the opportunity, and I was like, it's now or never. And currently, like Zephyr dude, aka Toshan, my man's LV legend. He's actually Philly too, because he's also going to Temple right now. He streamed the Gucci Gang leap year for me. He was my other code TO, and I was like, listen, man, we got another one. So I hope you're ready. and we've just been working hard at it. He's been a pretty big help. He's figuring out setting up all the streaming equipment. Uh, providing support with like transporting stuff and whatnot.
That's so cool. No splitter problems here at Creed, not like at Pound. So,
oh no,
have that all down, ready to go. I'm sure that gave you flashbacks when you heard about that stuff.
Dude, terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. But it is what it is. I guess it's a prestigious tournament, but you gotta cut him slack, man. He had, how many streams did he have running? He had like 3 or 4 streams just going on, and like our CRTs, like our poor babies are old, man. Like yes, in a way I agree that we should eventually turn over the monitors, but like, I mean, look at that bad boy right there. You see that
beautiful
little baby? My room might be messy, but there's like a couple CRTs over there.
That's beautiful.
And then I have like 20 more somewhere all over the house. All over the house. So yeah, Creed is going to be all CRT for sure. 32 setups.
There you go.
So yeah, man. So now we're just, I announced Creed back in like March just to like get the people talking. Because if I announced it like a month before, like, that's not enough time to like talk.
And also, I mean, traveling, you're hoping to get people from MDVA. You're hoping to get people from New England. You're hoping to, of course, draw in all of New Jersey. Because, I mean, hey, did you invite all the top 10 PR back? Like, hey, you're all still here. Let's get you back out again. I mean,
I reached out to a couple of them. Yeah, so I just had to get the ball rolling. I don't know if you saw the artwork for it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Where it's the Captain Falcon, the unbeatable matchup of Captain Falcon versus Falco. The Muhammad Ali versus Sonny Liston photo where he's just stepping over him, just doing the arm thing. So
next one needs to be Chuck Bednarik, but that's okay because the Ali tribute is beautiful.
Yes.
It's beautiful artwork.
Yes. So that was done by my friend Sarah Salami on Twitter. Give her a follow. Great artist. We've known each other for a while, and I've always liked her art style. So I was like, hey, help us out, and we made it into posters, which we'll be selling at Creed too. So
there you go. Let's go. That's awesome.
Yes, sir. So yeah, that's how it all started, man. Now we're here.
So what I want to hopefully see, first of all, where will this be streamed? What will Creed be streamed? What's the Twitch place where it's gonna be?
Let me I forget.
What I want to see on that stream, which you will tell me in a minute, is the biggest Hoborg run of all time, if Hoborg is indeed going. Although, actually, since he's moving to Philly, might not be going, if I recall correctly from our conversation.
Absolutely tragic. Hoborg will not be going.
Oh, no, now I remember why, because it's graduation day. Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's that. I think he said it's either his sister's graduation or... What did he tell me?
But no, it's his sister's graduation at Penn State. Now I remember. It took a second.
Yep.
It is tragic, but you know what? I'll also take the deepest B-Bats run, the deepest J-Flex run. I mean, these are friends of the program, so Wally, who I have not had on as of now, is allowed to make a super deep run for the event or anything like that. But here's another question. Why did you decide to make it a Melee only event? Is it because it was the obvious answer, or did you feel any pressure at all to try to incorporate another game or two? Did you feel any pressure to do that?
So funny enough, there's an Ultimate Monthly going on right now, but that's being ran by their staff.
Well, there you go.
I toyed with the idea of hosting other events, but I don't know enough about running them to do so.
And in a single day, that's also a challenge because Creed is just a one-day event.
Yes. So I mean, I was looking to maybe get Smash 64 remix there.
Oh,
Uh,
yes. Yes.
I,
Sorry, you're
I,
getting
re-
me all kinds of excited. Please continue.
I reached out to some people, but we'll see. We'll see if we can make it happen in 3 weeks. But yeah, just for now, I just think melee only is like as much as me and my team can handle, because we got new equipment for the stream. We got a camera ready and stuff like that. We're using their PCs, and also we have a stage for the players and a commentator stage. So we just want to you know grease our bearings and make sure this run is good, and then maybe next time we're gonna really juice it up a bit and start doing other stuff.
2-day event.
Yeah, nah, maybe. I think one day is fine. I think one day is possible, just depending on the amount of setups you can get out.
Yeah, that seems to be such a big, crucial part of all of that. But one step at a time. Make Creed work. Make Melee beautiful. And what's the Twitch stream? I want to make sure we have that down.
It's gonna be Brotherly Love PHL.
So twitch.tv/brotherly love PHL.
Yes.
That'll be in the description below for those of you who care to drop a follow now. So that way, when you're browsing on May 21st and you see live, got hopefully thousands of viewers checking out Melee, some hot Melee on a nice fine Saturday in the spring.
I hope so. It should be beautiful. I'm still working out some vendor opportunities. I know I've gotten some interest in getting some donations from Stone beer distributor. Actually, they want to give us free beer. So people 21 and plus, if you want to the beer, obviously we're gonna mark you. If you're found fucking giving someone under 21 alcohol, you are going to be fucking banned. I don't play with that shit, man. But yeah. And then still gotta see if I can make it work, but maybe a Wawa sponsorship, but
one step at a time.
We'll see. I know I can talk to some people. I can talk to a manager in Philly, and they can provide some stuff. But we'll see. And then actually another beer guy, Kenwood
Battery,
Beer.
don't you just want to go to this? Come up from Nashville. No, sorry. Hopefully Battery's still listening, hearing about all this super cool stuff that's happening.
Yeah,
James
Kenwood Beers is a local beer guy. He makes light beer, a better alternative to normal beer. And maybe some local brewers, maybe we'll see if Victory or Yards wants to come out and have a little, stand. Anything local, really. I don't know if we can do food, but if we can do food, then I'll do food. But for now, I know my initial plans was, so it's funny with this whole venue fee thing that came about on Twitter, but the venue fee at Creed is $20, and it's been that way. No one has said a thing to me, so I'm surprised all these people are complaining. I'm just like, okay. There's 10 venue online on PayPal and 10 at the door. I don't necessarily know why localhost wants me to do it that way, but I'm not going to question it.
They don't want payment completely all at once. They want it 2 separate transactions.
I think they just don't want it seeming like people are just coming in and doing, just walking in and not stopping by the cashier and, actually showing that they're paying for the event.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's one way to do it. Either that or passes. So no awesome lanyard pass kind of badge for this one.
Not yet. Nah.
Next time. Gotcha.
Not enough in the budget.
The $30 venue fee. No, we're keeping it 20. Keep it 20. I wanted to ask you, you're going up to nightclub tomorrow night, and so this recording will not come out until afterwards. So sadly, What is it for? Okay, Battery and other people who are listening. What is there to really gain from the fact of knowing? Oh my gosh, Gene is going to be at nightclub. If Gene wants you to know, he'll make sure you know that he's going. Okay, so back to you, Gene. You're going up to nightclub now. They're going to be having Function 2 this upcoming weekend, which is super exciting. New York City Melee with such a nice little renaissance here. That's super cool. But for you, are you going up there for pleasure? There's a little bit of business mixed in there, a little bit of, the networking stuff, which you seem to be infinitely better at than me.
So I went to nightclub God. When did I go to nightclub? This was like when Hacks Money first started it up. When it was
Hacks' nightclub. That's what it was known at the time.
This was when it first started. I started going that with Dawson, User Joe. Shout outs to User Joe. My fucking mans. Honestly, nicest guy ever. Who else was this? Usually Blake Gray, Nagy would come out too. So yeah, we would travel to NY to go to the nightclub, and I was like, damn, I kind of miss it. So I reached out to Zeph, and I was like, all right, I'm off tomorrow. You want to go to New York? So yeah, it said it was stacked, and I'm just like, yeah, I want to go holla at some of my friends. Want to go chat it up with Nico, Dark Gen X, Slox. I just want to catch up with the homies, see what they're up to, talk to them, ask their opinion on how they're feeling about whatchamacallit, the function, maybe a little marketing, hey, if you're looking for more Melee, come to Creed, all on monitors or on CRTs and stuff like that. But I'm really just going to, just leisure. Have some food for sure. I miss the Chinatown food. And yeah, this Friday I will sadly not be going to the function because I work a double. But this Friday I'm going up to Rutgers. The Rucker boys are doing a little barbecue / tourney in their house. It's gonna rain, but whatever. I want to go hang with some people, Just Nate, Gomi, Mott Money. I know Kyle Crudo's going to be there. I think Panda, Slug will be there. We're just all going to have a little good time. Bringing Zelf with me as well. So just some pre-function, activities, I haven't gotten the chance to meet Kyle Crudo in person yet, so I'm really excited for that. Maybe dip into New York and hang out with some other smashers. We'll see though. Probably not, but we'll see.
So I had a question about this whole Slug situation and the whole wobbling situation. Slug has proven he can be an amazing player even in 2022, where wobbling has been banned nationally speaking, internationally speaking, but you get it, for a couple of years now. I like this whole concept of regionals or smaller size events and not necessarily majors having rules that are just tweaked a little bit. Okay, look, we are fortunate in the Melee community. Think about people who used to watch Smash 4 when they would only play on Town and City and
yes,
Town and City. They just play on one stage and it drove me insane. I tried watching that game, but I couldn't. It was like, it's the same stage over and over again. Please pick another stage. So we get 5 stages. We get enough variety. That's great. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun discourse around the whole how much stalling do you have to do until you start to DQ people for intentionally not interacting in a Melee match, all that fun stuff. But I think about wobbling. I think there should be a tournament out there. What do you think? Is Philly at some point going to have a wobbling tournament, or am I really just trying to make something out of nothing here?
So I know in LV, when Battery was running the events, this was when wobbling was, I guess, banned. We had one rule, and it was Freddy Fishstick's rule, where he chose one person and one person only to wobble. And it was fine. It was fine. I don't know yet. Honestly, as a TO, I don't really set the rules on what I want. It's mainly on what the people want. And if the majority rule is that they want wobbling band, then so be it. It's not really up to me. I want, like, sure, it'll maybe lessen the ice climbers experience, you know, a little bit or a lot, but for the majority of everyone else, I want to kind of protect the quality of life. I'm sure eventually there's going to be like some rules put out for, like, stalling the airtime and all that stuff. And once that's put out, I'll follow suit as well.
Is there a future where the following suit is that, not that we're switching to Rishi's Jungle Jam, but I need to think of a semi outlandish rule or principle as it pertains to Melee. Oh, bans in a best of 5. If that becomes commonplace in the community, can you let yourself allow your tournaments to have bans in best of 5s, because that's generally what people are doing?
I don't know. I think that's kind of whack, personally.
Right. Well, yeah, I agree. But like
if you're playing a best of 3, like, sure, ban, whatever. But if you're playing a serious set, a best of 5, because, like, at this point you're probably like top 32,
right,
64, whatever, top 8, then like you're in it, man. You better be ready to, like, play your fucking best, regardless of like what character you're playing, the disadvantages, the advantages you have, and stuff like that. You better come to play, because, like, your opponent came to play too.
Yeah.
It's not just you. Like, it's fair that, that they get to choose where they want to play. Obviously we have the Dave stupid rule, which is fine. Like, I agree with that. But yeah, no, I don't really agree with, like, banning doing bans in best of 5s. It's kind of whack. Kind of defeats the purpose.
Yes. Unless you expand the stage list slightly.
Yes, absolutely.
Which I would also be down for. There's the kind of people who are asking for bans in best of 5s who are saying also we should just keep this stage list the way that it is, because really they're trying to get FD off the table if they're playing against the Marth, and so on.
I've seen that. Yeah, I mean, hey, you just got to go through it, man. You just got to go through it, man. Suck it up. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Think about IBDW, who at one time was seriously advocating for counterpicking to FD as the Fox. Just get it out of the way. Do you want Game 5 to be on FD? No. Let's go to FD first.
Not a bad idea. I mean, obviously, that's the whole thing with, like, our tier list of, like, our characters. Like, yeah, Marth is just the best on FD against the space animals. Like, what can I say? Just get it out of the way. What's the worst that can happen? You win?
That'd be hype.
That'd be hype. You do it again? Cool. All right. You lose? Oh, okay. My counterpick this time. So, like, it is what it is.
So I want to hear a story that you would remember as it pertains to maybe either a top player or just a player from the region that it's like more higher up in terms of the rankings, and what you would say is, well, either a really wholesome or a really degenerate story for someone who's, like, more well known. Because I think when you, like, I had this little teeny microcosm story thing with IBDW at Pound where I realized I just have an IBDW story now, which is cool. I don't need to have it be super awesome interaction now where we're now best friends or anything like that. He's has no idea who I am, and that doesn't matter. But, like, you eventually just you rub shoulders with all these people, including the top players. So can you think of either a wholesome story or a degenerate story as it pertains to, like, a more well-known regional player or top player, like, nationwide, that you can recall?
If I'm being truthful, I don't necessarily. I guess the only true, like, moment would be when I saw S2J and Gravy playing just friendlies on a setup, and I just sat behind them, and I was like, "You guys mind if I just watch?" And blah blah. Being like notably those two are always quiet, and I just stood there quiet and just like, and I enjoyed the melee, and it was beautiful. It was a really beautiful moment. Like nothing was said and nothing needed to be said. Their 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 words were said in their gameplay, so that was cool. But other than that, I mean, I don't necessarily like look for those moments. I kind of just like enjoy whatever situation I seem to get myself into whenever I go to a tournament or something like that. Like, I don't know. I just treat any player as if they're someone that I've known or just like someone I've played for a while,
And
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. That's the reason why, to anyone who wants to go to Creed on May 21st, Gene Dolla is going to treat you like just like everybody else who's there, going to make you feel super happy and welcome to be there. I wish I could go. Oh, now I'm even more mad. I was mad before. Now
I know that was a little bit of leaking, but I was trying to get saved as entitled to do a guest commentator set with me, but he can't go either. That's okay.
Sad as Untitled. That's a great emote in the Melee Stats Discord. I use the sad as Untitled emote a lot, and that's how I feel right now.
Yeah, I miss that guy.
You won't get to have save there because I know. I mean, I think even Melee Stats has a supremely hard time pulling him out because dipped from the Melee community may be the wrong way to describe it, but the way that Save talked about it when he was on Waiting for Game with Melee Stats is just like, I have other things that I got going on in my life. Melee's not part of it anymore. It's just not that much more complicated than that. So, shout outs, but maybe next time.
Yeah, I text him a couple times here and there. He's doing great, and I'm really happy for him. He's got a great job. He's working a lot, but you got to respect the hustle, man. If you're not making money, then what are you doing? But
speaking of you, when do you sleep? You work so much. You literally said to me a month and a half ago or so, I'll take off for this interview. And I'm like, take off? You'll just take off work? All cool, casual. Like, I'm keeping you from making money right now. It's such a homey thing for you to say yes to coming on. I appreciate it. But like, how much do you work?
Yeah, like, I don't know, like 50, 60 hours a week or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I work today.
Yes, I too. I worked 13 hours yesterday. I did not work 13 hours today, thankfully. But yes, respect the grind from one person who's trying to make money to another. I respect it so much.
I've kind of always just been a workaholic. It's just always been ingrained, like since I was a young bull. So I don't mind it. I mean, yeah, I get tired, but I usually go out to like the bars or something after work and meet new people, socialize and stuff like that. Go bowling sometimes, go to Sokol's. Potentially also for maybe if there's any Lehigh Valley, Jersey people watching this, maybe a tournament in a bowling alley, 21 plus. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. Follow me at Gene Dolla. But yeah, I just like working a lot. I like money. I have expensive. I'm not really materialistic, but I like getting good food. Like, I'm a big boy, and I like getting good drinks. So, and I like traveling.
All three require money.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
And if I gotta fly Slug out somewhere, then I need some money.
Gotta make it happen.
Oh yeah.
So for me, it's the very, very small part of what I make goes to doing this kind of stuff, but most of it is supporting the family. Wife, Jen, 2 kids, Ellie and Ezra, and super, super sweet. But I get to get through all of that, and I go, there's a little bit left in the tank, and there's a little bit of energy left in the tank, and I go, I want to talk about Melee now. And so it's been a privilege to talk to you about what you're doing out there in Philly, and I'm really excited to hear about and to see on twitch.tv/brotherlylovephl. Again, link in the description below. Just drop a follow now. You'll be able to check that out with me. Hopefully I'll be in the chat at least a little bit here and there. Just typing all caps, something to the effect of shoutouts to Valerie Wonderland or something, just to see if anybody else, because like, oh yeah, Valerie Wonderland's so cool. Wait, is she there? No, but
I love Val. I miss her.
Land of the Rising Sun, and so lucky to have Val. So all that to say, I really appreciate you coming on and talking with me, sharing your story. And before we get you going, closing thoughts. Places for people can find you, all that kind of stuff. You can take it away.
So places you can find me, you can add me on Twitter or follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Jean Dolla, JeanDolla. You can support me by following me. You can follow the Brotherly Love Esports Twitter. I forget what the handle for that is, but it's in my Twitter bio. If you live close to the Lehigh Valley or Jersey, you can come out to One More Game. It's every other Sunday. Not this Sunday though, because it is Mother's Day, correct? Right?
Yes, this Mother's Day.
So kiss your mamas for me. There will be no tournament. Come out to Creed, honestly. It should be fun. I'm trying to make it as high production as possible. It's in the heart of Philadelphia, so if you go 0-2 or 1-2, 2-2, whatever, you can go check out Philly. If you've never been, it's fun. It's a great time. Always something to do. Couple shout outs. I just want to give a shout outs to everyone in the Lehigh Valley. Aaron, well, he's not in the Lehigh Valley, he's in Tennessee, but he's
LV forever though, right?
Freddie Fishsticks, Zephyr Dude, Nate and Jeb Kiak, shout outs to Woods. Who am I missing? There's so many people in LV. Evan, Shimkoko, if you will, Kyle Jones, Lamp, Pete Dog. Shout outs to everyone from Philly Melee, Moosh, Slug, Dawson, Kem, I totally butts, holding it down as one of the newer TOs. And all, yeah, that's about it. Come to Creed. It should be a great time. I'm probably going to use some of the venue money and get pizza for everyone. So we'll see if it's in the funds, but most likely. Just come out to have a good time and don't be afraid to say hi.
Thank you for joining me on Bottom of the Smash Mountain, Jean Dolla. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks so much, man.